What is up, YouTube? Welcome to this Legion panel video. So last night and this whole weekend we're going to be having an absolute feast of special panels from San Diego Comic-Con. The real ones kick off tonight. I mean, that's not taken away from any of the ones that have happened so far, but we have the things of like Walking Dead. I mean, on Saturday, we've also got as well Warner Brothers and Marvel Studios. So we are just getting started, people. So I've done a DC Rebirth Doomsday Clock video on that panel with Jeff Johns and Dan Didio as well. So you can go and check that out on my channel as well. But this is a Legion video. So if you've been a fan of my channel, if you've subscribed for a couple of months, you will know that I absolutely adored Legion. I mean, Legion was my jam. I absolutely loved the way that Fox have managed to reinvent the X-Men. We have got a very serious kind of mutant drama. So, shying away from the absolute abysmal that was the X-Men Apocalypse, it seems like Fox are going down a lot more of a mature audience route. I mean, we had Deadpool, which obviously was R-rated. That success absolutely spurred them on to actually move on to this. And they created, obviously, Logan, obviously inspired by Old Man Logan, which was absolutely superb. A stunning tour de force and a great swan song for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. However, here we have got Legion, and it is absolutely bizarre. It is the mentalist of the mental. It is mental on acid. This show is insane. Of course, it has got Jermaine Clement, which I love him. He is a fantastic actor, and he was, in my opinion, the highlight of this, even though he was living inside an ice cube, which, yeah. But season 2, the season 1 finale gave us a lot more questions than we did answers. The show never actually kind of settles anything. It answers everything in complete riddles. But the kind of framework that we have is the fact that David is obviously a very, very powerful mutant. It is heavily implied that his father is Professor X. Obviously, he is in the comics, so it's going to be the same here. And that he has been dogged by the Shadow King, Amal Farouk. Now we saw that in one of the greatest kind of explanations of the history. And while David was trapped on the astral plane, we see him as it's revealed to him that, well, we actually have this whole backstory of the Shadow King being defeated. However, he retreated and has been dogged David since the day he was actually born. And his father, Professor X, hasn't really been around. I mean, does he know he exists or anything like that? We don't really know. But the Shadow King, we've just seen him in the kind of evil, creepy form. We've seen him as Lenny, and now he is possessed, of course, Jermaine Clement's character, Oliver. Now, it looks like Lenny and Oliver will be the villains for season 2, but the Shadow King has also had... the thing is, we never actually seen him in a human form, but we will now. And we have actually had that cast. We've got Sad Tagger Mayo. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm sorry if I've got it wrong. But he was, of course, one of the warriors who helped Wonder Woman. The actor played that character in Wonder Woman. He actually wasn't, because Wonder Woman wasn't like a real person. But he fought. And he was... for me, one of the highlights of Wonder Woman as well. He was also in Three Kings, which was an amazing film with George Clooney, which I highly, highly recommend you checking out. Now, interestingly as well, Noah Hawley has mentioned that, well, they're hinting towards Professor X. They confirm there is Professor X, who is his father, who is the one battling on the astral plane, which comes as to an absolute no surprise to anyone. However, they mention that the orb at the end of season 1 that takes David, well, that will be an interesting story for season 2, and he will have to work his way back to the group. And they say that at its heart, well, this is actually a love story, and it's a love story about two people who cannot actually be together. Obviously, Sydney is still there, and, well, we've got to deal with the fallout of the task force, the fight at the end of season 1. Now, this is a really this panel didn't really give us too much information as to it, but it does kind of confirm Professor Xavier, and I love the fact that Dan Stevens was actually on TV, and he kind of mentioned that to Professor Xavier, Patrick Stewart, he kind of told him all about Legion, and I like the fact that Patrick Stewart didn't even know what Legion actually is. It's just weird, just absolutely bizarre, but he seemed to like it. So the problem is they also mentioned that, well, if he's on the show, he'll be younger than his dad or older. It doesn't really make much sense, and I don't really think that having Patrick Stewart on the show would really work. Sadly, as maybe 10 years ago, but I don't think it would actually work here, considering that this is very early on in the timeline of, well, everything that is going on in X-Men. I mean, Dan Stevens will have to be aged some bit, but I love the fact that Dan Stevens is having such a big trajectory boost in his career, because he was absolutely amazing on Downton Abbey. So here we don't get too much information, but we do get confirmations of stuff we have been speculating for quite some time. Now, one other thing that came out of this panel is the huge news that Noah Hawley is going to be developing a Doctor Doom movie for Fox. Now, we've had 3 films. We've had the one with our version of Captain America. We had Chris Evans in the Fantastic Four 1 and 2. Then we had the reboot. And then, well, that was absolutely abysmal. However, it seems like they are hell-bent. They're not doing a Marvel. They're not doing a Sony and working together. Fox seem to be just bullheaded in making their bloody Fantastic Four license work. I would much prefer them to work with Marvel, who seemingly fixed Spider-Man and made it all work, but that's not going to happen. So just time will tell to see how this works, and I think if it's in the same vein as Legion, then it's going to be pretty good. But that is it for this video. Please do drop a like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.